So again, the big idea here is we're connecting linear relationships in pictures, as a graph, as a table of values, as an equation, calculation, and in words. Okay? The new concept that we're starting to look at here is this idea of this proportion, constant proportion that characterizes a linear relationship. That proportion has to do with that angle or slope. Okay? The angle of the line is going to dictate the rate or our proportion. That proportion is not necessarily found in the table. It is found in the changes in the table. So this is a new concept. The idea that proportion that describes a straight line is going to be a ratio or proportion that is changes in the table. So it's going to be on the outside of the table here. Okay, how that table changes. Okay, so here's another relationship. We have the cost of putting on a dance and the number of people that are coming to this dance. So the cost of putting on a dance, the high school is $400 for the DJ, plus they have to pay $5 for every person that comes for the food and beverages that they're going to have to buy. So the dependent quantity and the independent quantity. Well, does the cost depend on the person or the number of people coming depend on the cost? Well, in this case, the dependent quantity is the cost. So that is my dependent. Okay, the independent is the number of students coming to the dance. And that is my independent. Okay, now my independent is my x variable or horizontal. My dependent variable is my y variable or the vertical. So if I want to come up with a quick calculation for this relationship, well, my cost is going to be calculated by, well, I have my fixed cost, my $400 DJ, plus my variable cost, which is $5 times, and in fact, that's my rate, isn't it? $5 per person. Okay, that rate is my multiplier because now I need to multiply the number of people. So I can start seeing, and I want to start connecting this idea that this rate is going to characterize a straight line. This constant rate characterizes a constant straight line. I have this starting point of $400 that kind of fixes my line into place. So that describes my straight line that I'm going to use. It's going to start here at 400 and it's going to go up in this angle or rate. Okay, so let's see how this works. Let's plug in these values. So I always want to put in 0, 400. The starting point should always be a point on my table. I'm going to go up $5 per person. So how many people are we going to expect? So I really shouldn't go up by just like one person. Because there's probably going to be, let's say 100 people at this dance. Maybe I should go up by 10 people. So for 10 people, I've got to charge $5 per person. So that's $50 plus my DJ is going to make it $450. Okay. I'm going to go up to 20. That's going to be $100 plus the DJ. Okay. I'm going to go up to 50 and 100. Okay. Now you may have chosen different values depending on how big your school dance is going to be, but I'm going to say my school dance is kind of small, 100 people. So 50 people is going to cost $5 times 50 plus 400. That's going to give me $650. And 100 is going to cost $900. So then I need to make my scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to make that 100 here. Okay, so we're going to go up by tens. And the costs, I'm going to go up by tens as well. So hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say that's 500 here. 3, 4, 5. So that's $1,000 up here. Okay, now depending on the numbers you choose, you're going to have to choose a different scale. So that's another skill that you're going to have to start developing, choosing an appropriate scale for your graphs. So I'm going to start at $400 here. At $10, I'm going to go up by 50 bucks. $20, I've gone up to 500. 50, we're up to 650. Notice that these points are starting to line up, and this is what we should expect because there seems to be a rate in this problem. 100 is going to go up to $900, and there's my straight line pattern. Okay, so there's my graph. So again, this idea that this word relationship allows me to come up with a calculation, allows me to come up with a table of values, okay, and lets me graph. So that's a big idea. The part that we're starting to look at a little bit more in depthly is this idea of any linear relationship, any line in space needs to be described with an angle and a position. So our angle, we're going to use our rate, okay, how quickly it goes up. So there's a rate involved here, and I'm going to show that rate as a triangle. Okay, so in this case here is we have 30 people. We went up $150, so $5 per person. We can use that as a unit rate. Okay, so that angle then can be described by the rate. The position, we can use any position, but we're going to use a fixed starting position as a useful reference. Okay, that can change, but for now we're going to use that starting point, which we're going to call the y-intercept.